Edition of the Witching Half Hour or so. I am really happy to have my dear and beautiful friend Monique with me today. Can I say Monique Wilson?
Yeah. I have been saying Monique Karhiio Wilson.
Oh.
Karhiio is my traditional family name. It's Haudenosaunee, which is Iroquois, and it means tall, beautiful trees.
Oh, like in your yard.
Yeah.
Like in your yard, when you look out on your yard.
I was like, yeah, got to wear that name.
Oh, yeah. So Monique is I think of her as a healer and a teacher. She's one of my teachers and mentors, and I'm very blessed that she is now my friend as well. She is a hypnotherapist. She is a shamanic practitioner and indigenous healer. She reads tarot. She carries a drum. She has run many, many circles, including, we would do sweat lodges at your place.
Yeah.
You have worked in social justice on both ends of the spectrum, both supporting and healing the women who have experienced abuse and trauma, and then going into prisons and working with the perpetrators, helping them reclaim, I would say, like a real sense of power instead of power over. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Big difference.
And right now, because you are like me, you're always expanding and learning. You are studying somatic therapy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. The way we hold memory in our body.
Want to tell me about that? Let's start there.
Well, sometimes, when you're peeling the onion and you keep coming back to an issue, coming back. And I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis 5 or 6 years ago, and realized that the trauma I had experienced as a child and a young woman had a direct effect on how I feel in my body, how my body feels, and how I respond to all the stimuli around me.
Wow.
So, not that everything was triggering me, but a lot of things were.
Right.
So it was recognizing that subconsciously, there were not only thoughts and beliefs and emotions that were linked to trauma, but that my body was wearing the trauma.
Yes.
So it was like the physical point on the medicine wheel. And I kept thinking of the physical point on the medicine wheel as, massage or something like that. And I discovered in lockdown, I was introduced through Gabor Mate, through his online presence. I was introduced to Peter Levine, who is this kind, gentle, loving, and compassionate doctor, recognizing that women who had small, gentle car accidents were actually physically, their nervous system was reliving trauma.
Okay, I want to pause and dive into that because you are my friend, so my nervous system is no longer a regular functioning nervous system. I have some stuff I work with all the time. That's what my self-care, kind of my witchcrafting self-care is all about, is nurturing my own nervous system.
Yeah.
I find it very interesting that when women experience, how do I want to say this? what I'm thinking about is that when women who are carrying a lot of times we have suppressed emotion. We are told to behave a certain way in a society that doesn't support us, right? We
Absolutely.
are
Yeah.
cast as a supporting character in our own life, according to the narrative in our culture.
Yeah.
When we receive a hiccup, it's almost like it unfolds all of the stuff that we are carrying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And now we're responding to everything around us as a threat,
Yes.
right? Your nervous system is saying, oh, I can't deal with this. I can't watch news. I can't do anything. I'm not going to go to malls anymore. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we see it on Facebook, right? I'm an empath. I can't do these things.
We see it
Um,
in my own life when I choose
yeah,
not to
yeah.
participate in that big wide world and I go camping instead.
But the truth is, we are social beings.
Yes.
We are meant to be interdependent,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Big
Not just
difference
with the
there
tree.
between, huge difference there. There's a huge difference between interdependency and co-regulation of emotion and supportiveness and codependent
Yes.
behaviors.
So
They're very nuanced.
so what I would say to you is interdependency is co-regulation
Yes.
with human beings,
Yes.
is that ventral vagal, that social bonding with your baby, bonding with your
Mirror
kid.
neurons, right?
Exactly. And that is interdependency. That is, we do depend on each other for everything. I mean, let's get
Yeah.
real. We depend on each other for food. We depend on each other. Like, we just couldn't function if we didn't have guys building our houses, or women.
Yes.
If we didn't have firefighters, if we didn't have police, it would be a mess. If we didn't
Well,
have farmers,
we're social beings.
hunters,
We're
yeah,
pack
absolutely.
animals, right? We are not
Absolutely.
panthers alone in the wilderness.
Yeah.
We're more akin to wolves and meerkats and
Yeah.
that style of animal. I mean, we don't have any claws. We don't
That's
have
right.
any fur anymore. We just have these big, amazing brains and opposable thumbs. We need each other
That's right.
so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have no shells, we have no fangs, we have, right? So we are vulnerable and we are interdependent. So when we shut down like that, we're going into freeze, right? We're going in, we're deciding, and that's a nervous system that is overloaded.
Yes.
Where your capacity is down, your window of tolerance is closed, it's like no more.
Mm-hmm.
So somatic therapy is about how can we reactivate that? If you're in freeze, how can we reactivate it? If you're in flight or fight all the time,
Mm-hmm.
how can we regulate, titrate? How can we release that memory from the body so
Mm-hmm.
that you can go, oh, right, that is not a tiger that's going to eat me. I am safe. Fundamentally, I'm safe. Now, this is particularly difficult for women, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's hard to say. And even I've worked in the violence against women movement for many, many years. And it's still not fully comfortable for me to say, I am safe.
Right.
Right? Like, it's like, liar.
And you and I know we work with this truth where our messaging is powerful, where spelling, the root word is spell, and what we say has huge amounts of power, whether we're saying it to ourselves in our heads or whether we're saying out loud to people. That's why a lot of times when I'm doing self-care and talking to myself, I say it out loud. Like, my ears need to hear it. That sound needs to reverberate in the world.
Yep.
And so one of
that
the ways
vibration.
I deal with safety is, it's kind of like being open to the idea of being open, is I will say something like, I am feeling safe in this moment. I am feeling safe in this place, because I can't get to the place where I feel the blanket of safe.
Yes,
Like,
that's
I'm
right.
not blanketly safe in the universe.
And context is so important. It is important. Like, it is the moment of now.
Yeah.
This is the moment of creation. Not the future, not the past. This is the moment of creation. So me sitting here in my healing room, watching the hummingbirds, looking over at my altar, looking at your face, I am safe.
Yes.
I am. And so saying that in every single moment that you look around in the context and the environment that you are in, and saying, you know what, I am safe here. I am safe here. There is no tiger in the grass. So that's helpful too, because
that is deep, deep, deep magic. So everyone in the Earbud Coven, we are going to just take a moment and let you settle that in. Anything you are dealing with, you can help reset your nervous system, reground yourself. If you tune into the present moment and in context, out loud, let yourself know that you are indeed safe. And that magic can work for other things too. I am creative.
Yeah.
I am wealthy. I am in abundance. I have love. I am supported. I am important to people.
Yeah.
That is deep, deep, deep magic. That's deep magic.
I am precious. I am divine.
Yes.
Right. I am radiant. I love that word.
That's a great word.
Radiant. Just radiant. So many years people would feel the anger. So they would be, you're intimidating. And, years of working with it, it's like, no, I'm radiant. And I do radiate what I feel, what I believe, what I think, like that radiates out into the world. So that's my reason for not wanting to be filled with rage anymore.
Nice.
Right? Is our world has enough of that.
Yeah.
That's not, right? That's not the world I'm creating. I'm not creating that world. Not anymore. Right? I want to
touch on that though, because I do want to also notice that in all of that work you've done and all that healing, never once did you deny yourself the right to feel angry at things that were unjust, at being having your boundaries crossed, at being harmed. And so I love that acknowledgement of, I know my anger. I feel my feelings flow. I am choosing to create harmony, safety. That's not denying any of your feelings. And I think that's important and beautiful.
It is really important. Anger is it's the alarm that tells us when our boundaries have been breached.
Yes.
And it's like the ship is going down. It's like beep, beep, beep. And when you're angry, hold on, something here is not right. And many times for us, it's obvious, but other times it's not.
Yeah.
Other times you feel yourself feeling anger and you're like, why don't I like that person?
Yeah.
Why am I so angry and scratchy with them? Right.
Yes.
And then I find out later that insurance guy was actually gonna overcharge me.
Right.
I didn't like him at all. Just my alarms were going, no, get out of my shop. I don't like you. I don't like the way you talk to me. Like I looked at him and said, I don't know why I don't like you, but you have to leave. Literally, it was like, get out of my,
Back away.
I was so mad, so fast. And my daughter, who was witnessing, after he closed the door, and he turned and he threatened me on the way out. He said, "You have no insurance. You better be careful." And I was like, are you threatening to rob me or something?
Are you going to burn my shop to the ground?
What are you doing?
I didn't buy your insurance.
Big time prayers, big time magic around that shop. So Justine looks at me and says, "Mama, your bear just came out. Like, wow, I wonder why." And she was the one to
Gosh, she's so amazing.
I know I was like, "Oh, you're right, Justine. I wonder why." And so when I went and consulted with another insurance agent, a woman I know, she quoted me a price that was $300 less.
Oh my gosh,
and
right?
had way more coverage.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh, you bastard," right?
Right.
But it was like, yep, my bear knew. I knew. All my instincts knew that
Well,
this
and
was
it's interesting too, because when I think about anger for myself, my relationship with anger has changed over the years. And anger is one of the things that in some of my darkest, most intense grief, it has motivated me to get up.
Yes.
Right? Like literally out of bed, because I was not going to let the things that were oppressing me and the circumstances that I found myself in defeat me, because I am an Aries and I am very feisty.
Yeah.
But it has also been there when I have needed to protect myself, protect my children, when I have needed to pick up and move in the middle of the night. I didn't do that from a place of love and light.
No.
And I don't think I don't know how how am I going to, I can't even figure out how to say this, but basically, I don't think there's any other source in the world that can move the mountains that our anger can for us. Like, not rage.
Yeah.
But like real, this is an injustice. I am going to fight this Goliath.
Yeah. Anger and fear.
Oh, tell me about that.
Well, women, men even lift cars.
Oh yeah.
Off of children. Right? We do these super natural feats when we're in a moment of intense fear. We deal with a situation, and then when the situation's over, we collapse.
Yes.
And this is all our nervous system. This is the anger activates our nervous system. The fear activates our nervous system. When people collapse into apathy and they don't leave their houses and they don't get out of their pajamas, and trust me, I've been there. So I'm not judging that, but that is our nervous system folding, right? We're now possuming.
Yeah.
We're now, and often shame will accompany that. There's really deep stuff in the folding as well. So every nuance of our nervous system, it's instinctual and it's reactionary to situations, and sometimes triggers in this moment that are much lighter than the actual response. So what I got tired of was responding with rage to something that was actually pretty mild, literally spilt milk, or as an example. So I can give you an example really recent. So the trial, I don't follow the big trial, right? The big.
Oh yeah. I got sucked into it. I got sucked into it a couple days of just like house cleaning and folding laundry, and like
I can't. Yeah.
Could not look away for the whole day.
So and I'm I have a very nuanced response to any of these events now. so I was really triggered about the automatic gaslighting and shaming of Amber, and the dismissal of Mr. Depp, I'm now calling him, Mr. Depp's violence, like the total erasure of it.
Mhm.
So, like, she's psychotic and he's what? Normal? Are you
No.
kidding me? So I was so enraged by this. I was really angry, and mostly about women's responses to another woman.
Yeah.
And I was really betrayal, like all kinds of things were coming up for me. So I got on my elliptical and I'm like giving her. And then I'm on my treadmill and I'm boxing with different men's faces that have done violent things to the people I love, right?
Mhm.
And so then I said to my somatic therapist, who is assisting me, we need to do this for part of our training. We need to do our own work.
Yes.
Training. So I said to her, I don't feel any better. I'm still mad. And she reminded me that the treadmill, the running, is actually flight.
Mhm.
It's that motion, and so is the elliptical. So that I'm doing fight or flight over and over and over again.
Mhm.
And I'm not actually, where is the release? And I was like, oh my goodness. So this is a beautiful example of nuance. So she said, do you have a cushion? And I got the cushion. Now, usually I would say people scream in the cushion or beat up the cushion.
Yeah.
She said, no, just sit with your body. And what does your body want to do? And I put my hands in front of my body and I just pushed out my palms, right? From it was my heart center.
Yeah.
I put my hands in front of my heart center and I pushed out, and there is strength in my arms. My muscles in my arms were flexing, but the movement was very slow and gentle. So then she asked me to do that into the pillow. And the pillow's on my lap. So now I'm pushing down, but my arms are super strong and the breadth of my fingers were fully spread out. But the cushion absorbed the energy.
Right.
And it was just breathe, just do that, play with it. If you need to knead the cushion, and I tried that and it wasn't the motion that my body needed. My body just needed to say no. That's all. And push that away. Push away that vulgarity.
Mm-hmm.
Push away that betrayal. Push away that circus, that silly media circus and all of its trickery. It's enchantment.
Oh,
And it's the worst kind.
yeah.
It's the worst kind of enchantment. And it was just like, no. And it wasn't rage like Medusa. I was, I love Medusa. Love her. It was resolve. It was the resolve of Medusa. No man shall look at me like that again.
Yes.
Right? So no, I shall not be pulled into the anger of your circus. No. And it was into this beautiful pillow, and I felt way better after. The elliptical, we transformed that now. Now I'm going to run with my ancestors.
That's beautiful.
Right? And we're not running away.
No.
And we're not running towards even. Maybe we are a new future. I don't know. I'll play with that as I do that exercise. But
what comes to mind as you're talking about that is the sheer joy on the look of Lunabelle, my dog, when we run together. Right? Like, she loves running.
Yeah.
She's not running away. She's not chasing anything, because she looks much different when her prey drive is activated and the hound goes, right?
Yeah.
But when we're out in the woods together, we're out doing stuff, and we just run a little bit, it's the sheer joy of just feeling her body move and being with each other.
Yeah.
Together, moving.
Yes.
It's such a simple, joyous thing. I actually really like doing stuff like that with my dog. I find it very I don't know, just lovely.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's healing
Well,
or freeing. It's just lovely.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what comes to mind when you talk about running with your ancestors. Like, instead of it even being goal orientated,
Yeah.
right? Not even running to, just being a human being, moving in your beautiful, amazing body and stretching it and flexing it and feeling it and breathing and being present and feeling the sun on you. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So that's, yeah, those are examples of the how a subtle, nuanced shift
Yeah.
in approach. We don't have to be so obvious.
No.
And
And we're
in
not.
fact, you know, we got this thing, like for me, it was like, well, if I box, I'll get it out. No, no, no. It just made me want to box more. It was like, no, because I'm not a fighter. I'm not. It's not. I'd rather make love than war.
Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's my true nature. That's my true nature. Now, there might be warriors out there where it's their true nature, where if they go and box, they can release, and
Yes.
that works for their body. So
Yes.
that's also very important.
Yes.
You know, every body is different. Everybody is different.
And I think too, from my own experience, like, what my body needs at different phases and times of my life can grow and change too. Like, I am not stagnant. I am an
That's right.
evolving soul in a human experience. So in my youth, I had a lot of reasons to be angry. And I had
Yep.
a culture telling me I was not allowed to be angry. And so I became friends with my anger, and not rage. Like, I was not, I mean, okay, maybe when I was like 17, I was pretty rageful, but whatever. I think we all, I mean,
Yeah.
I was a punk rock anarchist, right? Like,
Yeah.
clearly. But in,
Righteous rage.
oh, yes, I was bringing down the man.
Yeah.
And it's, you can see it in the child I raised through my 20s, and the difference in her outlook on life, and the difference on my younger children's outlook on life. And we've talked about it,
Right.
like how funny it is that so many things that are so similar about them, like their sense of humor is very similar, a lot of things about their mannerisms is similar, but they were really raised by a different version of who I am.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. But it's just really interesting, because there are times, what you needed when you were learning about your anger is
Yep.
different than what you need now.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think it's beautiful. Like, each person has different, what they need is different and nuanced, and their path is perfect for them. But we're not frozen in our needs.
No, we're
Right.
not. No. And yeah, they're always shifting.
Yeah.
So to be open and playful and curious about what works and what, how does that feel?
I like that. We are probably at time, but what I want to
Okay.
do is I want to offer you, I'm going to keep recording,
Yeah.
and I'm planning on doing Patreon stuff eventually. So this will either be a second episode you're on, like a two-parter, my love,
Yeah.
or I'll put it out as a Patreon thing. So
Sure.
before we do that, what I'd like you to do is, can you put out your handles and all the ways people can get in touch with you and get healings from you and contact you, and what's the best way to reach you?
The best way to reach me is to email me. That's absolutely the best, because I look at my computer every day.
All
I
right.
don't answer emails every day,
Mhm.
but I look at it and I note, I star the ones that I need to answer. So my email is achieving peace of mind. And since we're talking
And
about
is
anger
that
so
at
much,
Gmail or?
at shaw.ca.
Okay. And I will
And
put it in the show notes, everyone, if you didn't write it down in that second.
yeah. So achieving peace of mind at shaw.ca.
Mhm.
I'm on Facebook, Monique Karhiio Wilson. Karhiio is said differently than it's spelt.
I wouldn't even attempt to pronounce it. I've seen it. I've seen that you changed your handle, and I was like, I need to ask her how to say that. How would I say it? Gadiu?
Yeah, Karhiio.
Gadiu.
Yeah. The K is a G sound. Karhiio. Yeah.
Okay.
Comes
Okay.
from the back.
Gadiu. So, but KoKum is a K.
Yeah.
Kokum?
Yeah. That's because KoKum is Cree.
Oh, okay.
Karhiio is Haudenosaunee.
Right.
KoKum is, they say Naiwa.
Okay.
That's how we say Cree, Naiwa.
Naiwa.
And somebody would probably correct me because I'm beginner Cree. So I'm just going to caveat that, right? I'm beginner Cree. So Naiwan.
Well,
Naiwan,
because
Naiwa.
it's a language
Yeah.
that was stolen and erased, so that we know this much.
Well, wasn't really stolen and erased. There was a lot of elders that kept speaking it secretly.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
And so it is one of the largest languages in Canada. Cree has 3 different dialects, and I would venture to say has the largest numbers of speakers. So it's one of the languages that is least likely to be erased. It won't be.
Good.
Let's say that. And it wasn't erased.
Good.
So, under enormous pressure, we kept it. So Monique, Monique, Karhiio, Karhiio, Wilson, just like it sounds, Wilson.
I think
That's my Facebook page. And, my website is still, it will be achievingpeaceofmind.com, but it's still being constructed. I've been menopausal and reforming.
Yeah.
Which is right and perfect medicine for, moving from the mother to the crone.
I love how you said it. Oh, that wasn't what I expected you to say, because most of the time I hear women say, well, I'm menopausal, I'm tired. You're like, I'm metamorphosing into something different. Therefore, my webpage keeps changing with me and isn't finished.
Yeah, that's right. And so I do have some elders who say, well, get it up there anyways, because you can just keep, changing. So the plan is by the end of the year. In the meantime, my email and Facebook. Yeah. KoKums Den is also a page I have on Facebook. KoKums apostrophe. I'm, colonized through and through when it comes to punctuation. Then Den is DEN, of course. KoKum being grandmother in Cree, so grandmother's den. Den is because I'm a bear. So I have a den. So
and it's a safe place for people who are healing, let me tell you.
Yeah. So, I also do publicize my phone number if you want that.
I don't know. I'm hoping I'm going to be super famous, so we won't put the phone number out there. Because in like 2 years, everyone and their dog's going to call you.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, why